おはようございます。こんにちは。こんばんは。行きましょう。私はマルコムです。どうぞよろしくお願いします。今日は木曜日です。そしたら、このはニュービデオです。So, welcome, guys. I felt the need to pull out, the old Japanese because I want to talk to y'all about embracing your inner child. Like, I want to give you 4 effective ways to embrace your inner child. And the reason why Japanese is a part of mine is I love, I grew up loving Japanese culture, the language, the country, anime. Dragon Ball Z was my favorite show for a long time. It was among many, many others, but I always was like obsessed with it. My brother, shout out to my brother. My brother is like pretty much fluent. Like he's very proficient at Japanese. So, and he's older than I. So, the accent and the things were very natural, and so it's always been a part of my like history. And I would love to like be fluent one day, but that's a whole other conversation. I can talk a little bit and things like that. But anyway, I felt the need to share that with y'all because that's my childhood. And I think that's probably the easiest, quickest, most effective way to just jump into embracing your inner child, just looking back. Like, what? Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, we're going to start with the first topic. Do the fun things you used to do, right? I used to love studying Japanese. I studied it for 3 years in high school. I think I did a semester in college. I used to only watch anime in Japanese. Purred. That's period for those that don't know purred. But yes, I used to only watch it in Japanese with the subtitles, just to see what I could pick up and like get the accent and get the language. I loved video games. I loved role playing games like Final Fantasy. I loved fighting games like Marvel vs. Capcom. I just loved. I was totally like what you call like a geek. I was not an art kid. I was very much a geeky kid. But at the same time, I think there's so much art in video games and in tech, and so that's debatable. But I was very much like love sci-fi. I had so many interests as a kid. I loved to learn. So those are things that I liked. So I highly encourage you to take a moment, maybe today or tomorrow, or just sometime when you have a moment, just to reflect. What did I used to do that was fun? Because you probably don't do it anymore. Between like paying your bills, maybe you have kids, maybe you have all these responsibilities, pets, you name it. We all have things that we are doing, especially right now. Hello? We're all doing extra work to, take care of ourselves and our livelihoods. And so it's, I think, even more crucial than ever to look back and bring back some of those old things that put a light in us. Because you've never met a child that when they're doing their thing, when you let a child do their thing, that's it. That's the world. I have a niece, she's 8. Well, she's 7. She'll be 8 in February. But she's 7 right now. She lives in her own world. She does her own thing. Don't bother her. She's good. Like, she will color, she will draw, she will paint, she will play her games. Like, she has her own interests. And I believe all children have interests, like vast interests that you don't have to tell them to be into. They're just into. And we all have that. So I do think that's a really beneficial thing to do. Look back at your childhood and see, what did I used to do? That's a great place to start. Do those things. Number 2, talk to the people you've known the longest. So I say this because it's December. Yay, happy December. It's my birthday month. I love December. Shout out to Capricorns. But yes, it's December, and I feel that there was, with this year, 2020 was a very transitionary year. It was a lot of change, a lot of different things. And I wasn't really thinking about Christmas, to be honest. And this is not like an advertisement. If you don't celebrate Christmas, maybe you celebrate other holidays, maybe you're an atheist, whatever. It doesn't really matter to me. Like, I celebrate all walks of life and all, belief systems. But I grew up celebrating Christmas, and this year it never really like registered. It was like December, and I wasn't really like around Thanksgiving time, I wasn't thinking about it, wasn't thinking about decorating, wasn't thinking about celebrating, wasn't thinking about buying any gifts or receiving anything. I wasn't thinking, it just was not on my mind. I was thinking about so many other things, like maybe this or just different things that I wanted to do in my life, in my career, and things I wanted to handle. And first, it was my mom who randomly, we were talking, and she decided to say, you know, you used to love Christmas. And I was like, I did love Christmas. She said, you really did. Like, you used to not sleep. When you were a kid, you couldn't sleep. Like, you probably got like an hour of sleep on Christmas Eve. You didn't. You were one of those like super excited kids that was like, I'm here for Christmas. And she's right. And then my best friend, shout out to him, he also said the same thing. He said, Malcolm, you used to live for Christmas. So as I go through my life, because we all get caught up, I actually forgot how much I had such a history with Christmas. I used to always watch Austin Powers on Christmas. I love gift giving. I love Christmas. I love making people smile and getting them that special thing that really warms their heart. I'm really like a sucker for that kind of stuff. I love, mostly, more important than anything, just the togetherness of it, the idea of Christmas, because I know it's a commercial holiday and it's, you know, sometimes it gets a little lost in translation, but for me, it was always a beautiful coming together of families and loved ones and friends and singing songs and watching warm movies and hot chocolate. It's just so many, it's just so, the Christmas tree, all of that I think is beautiful. I think it's, the idea of it is beautiful. So guess what? I'm celebrating Christmas. And that's all because I talked to those people in my life that have known me through my phases and my changes and my you know, process, my journey. So yeah, talk to the people in your life. If you're like, I don't really remember what I used to do, they probably do. They could tell you one thing. Each person in your life can tell you one thing that you probably forgot about. So talk to them. Number 3, go back to basics. I know I touched on it before, but color, draw, write, daydream. More and more. Like, that's not like the full list. That's just the first few things that came to my mind, because when I was in school, like, I remember when I didn't feel like paying attention. I was a very good student, but hey, like, we are all human beings. You know, you're sitting in a chair for like, what, 8 hours? There were moments where I would doodle, and I find even now at 27, almost 28, I love to doodle. I love to color. There's nothing more relaxing and more soothing than to sit down and say, you know, I think that this tree should be brown, but this shirt is definitely purple. Like, this is definitely red. Like, just making those decisions that mean nothing, right? They mean nothing in terms of the world. These are just decisions of preference, of, I think this is what my coloring page is gonna look like. This is what my drawing is gonna be. This is what I'm feeling, and I'm just doodling randomly, whatever. I'm gonna practice my penmanship. I'm gonna write a short story. I used to write fan fiction. Oh my God. I used to write, I remember I loved this game called Final Fantasy VII. That was like my favorite game for a really long time. I wrote a whole fan fiction about it. I actually have it. I'm gonna try to find these things and put pictures in. I'm gonna just put them in. I'm gonna pop it in because, like, I think it's worthy of that. But yes, I wrote a fan fiction for that, and that was fun. I didn't give it to anybody. I wasn't trying to get published. Just doing things, especially artists. I'm talking to you, especially people that work in creative fields that have to produce work as a way to feed themselves. You're a dancer, go draw. You know, go do something that is unrelated. If you're a photographer, go dance. You know, like, if you're an actor, go sing. Like, do something that is not within your medium, because it is so healing and helpful, because you switch off those, like, oh, this needs to be better, or you become an amateur again. Be an amateur as much as you can, and, like, go out and just do whatever you want to do, because kids don't care how good or bad something is. They just do. They're just like, they're doing their best and they're having a good time. They're not trying to be the best. That's when you're young, when you're very young, you're not trying to be the best. You have no concept of the best. I love to sing, so the kids singing. Even if it's off key, they're having a good time. So who cares? So I highly encourage you to just go back to basics, think back on what brings you joy, and also maybe try something new. Maybe you never drew when you were young. This is the perfect time. This is the best time to go out, and you never know. You never know. It might turn into something that you want to pursue, or just something that's an outlet for you. Either way, beautiful for your life, for sure. And last but definitely not least, find every excuse to laugh. Especially at yourself, especially at things that are silly. You know, we are so busy. You know, as a culture, we are so busy. We are so preoccupied with important things, unimportant things. We can talk about those things all day, but our minds are full of things. Laughter is medicine for you. Laughter is like, I like to wake up, and I don't do this every day, but I do this often. I wake up, pull out YouTube on my phone most of the time, or on my computer, and I look up comedians, because I'm not a comedian. I have no desire to be a comedian, but I feel that I need like something funny. I need some type of perspective, or some type of funny idea, or some type of joke, or some type of humor to kind of jumpstart my day. It gives me so much life, because laughter, maybe you woke up feeling sore, maybe you woke up and you're like, I have so many things to do, maybe you have all this like anxiety, whatever it is. Laughter is, you can't think about your problems and laugh at the same time. It's not possible. And if you are thinking about it, you're laughing at them, which is so much healthier than crying, right? So I highly encourage you to laugh at yourself. If you make a mistake, instead of being like, you know, like beat yourself up, laugh. You're like, oh my goodness, I wrote this. Oh, you know what? A great place to start. I did this yesterday with my roommate. It was so much fun. We watched news bloopers. We watched the funniest news bloopers. I don't know if it was 2020 or just in general. And we watched it. I thought I was going to watch it for like a few seconds. We watched it for like 25 straight minutes, because these people are so poised and so collected, and they're doing their job. You know, they're telling you the news, and then they'll say something ridiculous, or they'll go off script, or they'll make a mistake. And you should see how much they laugh. Like, they completely crack. Like, they're like done, because they're so, and that's a reflection. I think that is such a good metaphor for us all. We are all on some level presenting like this thing, like, I am good, I'm serious, I'm a serious artist, or I'm a serious professional, and I am doing my thing, and I am great. Look at my headshot, you know? And to take a moment to just like laugh, like, oh, I totally messed that up, and laugh about it is so human and helpful and great for your spirit. And so I'm going to leave you with those 4 things. That's all I'm going to say. I say have more fun. You can always have more fun. There's no such thing as too much. Well, there is such a thing as too much fun, but we can all afford to insert a little bits of fun, micro doses of fun, if you will. Like, slip in some fun in between the serious things that we are doing, because I think we all need a good laugh. We all need to smile, and we all need to feel like kids again. Kids are the most carefree creatures on the planet. They know how to have fun, and they trust their instincts. You don't have to teach them how to trust their instincts. They just know things, and they just do what they feel. And I think we can all learn from that. So, domo arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate you so much. And not only do I appreciate you, you are an awesome person, and you deserve to have fun. You deserve a good time. You deserve to laugh, because we're all working hard. I can feel it. I feel like we know each other now, and I feel like we're working hard. So let's laugh a little bit. Let's draw a little bit. Let's do a little bit of exploring, and give our inner child a hug, because they need it, right? They need it. So thank you. Stay safe. Take care. Love you guys. Later.